This episode was helped brought to you by our newest sponsor, Kalona Brewing Company. They're a brewery out there in Eastern Iowa. So if you're in the area, make sure to stop by Kalona and check out their brewery. Great food at the restaurant there, great beer, obviously. If you're in the Midwest, check out any Hy-Vees. I believe they carry the 6-packs, and they have different types of flavors. So you guys are going to want to, definitely try that out. And I think throughout this whole process, Fishing Kid and myself for Beer Fish Fanatics, we're going to be doing some giveaways here and there. If you guys can go ahead and tag us here and there with your Kalona beer. So other than that, enjoy the episode, guys. We keep it PG-13. Let's just say that.
Yeah, PG-13.
Yeah, PG-13. I mean, I say F this or S that. And I usually beep out just the F word. I leave all the words like shit and stuff. It's not a big deal.
I try not to say it. If you guys ever watched any of my videos, you might notice me saying something like Holy Toledo.
Yeah.
I never say that in real life. I have no idea where that came from.
Hey,
my wife pokes me. She's like, where the hell did you learn to say that? Goes, I've never heard. I don't know.
It's all good, man. Hey, you got better restraint than me. I'll tell you that much. I mean,
it's being in the business world. It kind of you have to after a while. So,
all right. So, all right, everybody, welcome to another episode of Beer Fish Fanatics. This is Grandy with Ma Pa Fishing. We have
Kit with the Fishing Kit YouTube channel.
And today we have a gentleman by the name. Okay, I'm gonna butcher this.
I would go as far as saying gentleman. I'd watch what you're calling me like that. That might be a false advertisement.
We have Mr. Mark Przybysz.
Very good, close enough. It's Przybysz, but Mark is fine.
There we go. And he actually hosts his own podcast on YouTube, Catfish and Crappie. And actually, you actually do a Panfish Nation and everything also.
I do.
You're a busy man. I'm not going to lie, because I've been watching a couple of your episodes and listening to you. Man, you really jumped into this thing. If you don't mind, thank you so much for joining us. Tell us a little bit about that, man.
Thank you for having me. I consider myself blessed. I kind of fell into this. I kind of started YouTube just for like a hobby, see what I could do. I'm not the most artistic person in the world. And a close friend of mine who is teaching me how to play one of those 2 guitars back there. He's like, maybe you should try something else besides guitar. So he's like, why don't you get into the visual aspect of things? And I'm like, well, I like to fish. I've been fishing for a long time, and one thing led to another. And then when we get to like the live streams and stuff like that, as far as the show goes, I found like live stream catfish talk shows, kind of pretty much just panels, and I came across Avid Fisherman. He's a guy here in Southern Illinois. The guy loves fishing more than probably anybody, or just as much as anybody I know. He's got, a big heart. He's a big teddy bear. Everybody calls him Sasquatch or whatever, but he's a good dude at heart, and he asked me to be like in the chair, which is kind of like what you guys are doing here. And I'm like, I don't know, Avid. I don't think I'm going to do it. And he wouldn't take no for an answer. Nice. So I went on the show, answered a lot of questions, and just told people how I fish, how I target flathead, and a lot of stuff that I, was taught by the people before me, whether it's in real life or on YouTube or whatever. I kind of adapted all of that stuff to my situation, and people were impressed. So he had me back one more time. Chad Fields over at Fishing with the Chad had me on his first episode of the Bait Shop, which is anything but a fishing show, but it's still a show. Kind of just a bunch of guys sitting around giving each other shit is pretty much what it is. And that was fun to do. And then Avid had a change in his work schedule. And I'm like, hey, if you need me to help you, I'd be happy to help you. A couple other guys. He's like, all right, Mark, you're doing it. So that's where I'm at today, pretty much.
Nice.
I don't want to toot my own horn or anything, but people keep coming back. Why, I don't know. But I'll keep doing it as long as they'll have me. How about that?
Hey, that's all good, man.
And Panfish Nation was a project I'd helped Lyle while he was having some medical problems with his shoulder. He asked me to step in, so I was blessed to be on that show with James Smith for, I think it was 4 weeks maybe, and that was a trial by fire because I mean, we were going to have some pretty big names. We've had some big names on there. So I kind of got tested there, and he asked me to come back and help him with this new project, which is Panfish Nation. I do a lot of work with him behind the scenes also as well. And it's a labor of love. He's given me exposure to some people that I normally wouldn't. Namely like Babe Winkleman to say, and Ryan O'Neal and a bunch of other guys, you know, and also we just had a couple of, I know you guys had a DNR guy on, right? If I'm not mistaken, you have to forgive me. I watch so much YouTube. It's ridiculous.
We've
had, or like a biologist, right? Well, we had a guy who builds, ponds for, people who can afford to have really nice ponds on their property. And Bob Lusk, I believe is his name is Lusk. And he was a real good guest. That I just like talking to people like that. Anybody who goes after fishing in more of a cerebral manner than a brute force manner, that's my kind of people. Nice. Which is why I gravitate to like podcasts. I'm a podcast fanatic. So
Cool. So we got the right person, Kit. And then just to kind of give you guys all a heads up. All right, man, Kit, I owe you a slam of beer because I did it again.
I didn't want to interrupt Mark. I was like, sorry. We didn't talk about the drinks yet.
See, once I start talking, I don't shut up, which is why I'm good for the sphere, you know?
It was my freaking fault. And I know Kit's going to be like, damn it, Granny, you could owe me another because this is the second time I did this, or actually probably the second
time in a row.
Yeah. So quick shout out to our sponsor, Kalona Brewing Company. Today I'm drinking the horsepower. I needed the horsepower today. So it's a American Hefeweizen ale. This one's 5.1% on this one. So I'm gonna enjoy this. This is the first time I think I might have. I don't know if I had this one yet now, so I'm gonna try.
I like a Hefeweizen beer. I really do. Yeah. I'm not even saying that to please your sponsors. It's one of my favorites.
No, I love it too. So what do you got, Kit?
I have the Kalona Classic. I'm taking it easy today. It's the light lager, and like 4.1% easy drinking.
There you go. And then Mark, I know
I have some 6-year-old rye that a dear friend of mine who happens to be an award-winning beer brewer brews, I think, on the side. I don't want to mention his name. I don't want to get him any trouble, but it's 90 proof. It's a 6-year-old rye. And I've had a lot of whiskey in my time. I'm not an alcoholic, at least not yet, but he knows what he's doing. I'm real happy and I'm real grateful for the gift. So cheers, everybody.
Cheers, Mark. And then offline, you'll have to give us his name.
We can do that.
Oh yeah, that's a good half. I've had a good half.
You want someone to talk beer with? I might be able to. Well, we can talk after the show.
Yeah, no, definitely. Let us know. We've actually had a few beer people on our podcast. We just did one a couple weeks ago at Kalona at our sponsors brewery. We just did an episode there, so it's kind of cool. I mean, I really love it because to me, beer and fishing goes hand in hand, especially when I don't catch shit. Sure. I don't catch anything. I mean, honestly, most of the time I'm just catching a buzz.
It even helps when you get home after not catching shit.
There you go.
Makes you feel a lot better, don't it?
It does. The sorrows go away, I guess. And then
when you have a really good day, it helps celebrate.
Yeah.
Here's to the good days.
Yeah, here's the good. I like that, Mark. Very good. Oh yeah, that's good. I might have to do a double today, boys.
Oh yeah, like a double IPA?
No, like a double beer or two.
Oh, double beer.
If you guys ever here's some inside information. If you ever see me drinking out of my Catfish and Crappie Yeti, it's usually got beer in it if it's on my show, just so you know. A little insider information. And if it's before noon, it's coffee. After that, it's pretty much beer.
Mark, I just loved you that much more.
So what's your favorite part about podcasting? Because I know you've had some like I follow a lot of these catfish guys because I love catfishing. Like I was like, wow, Mark, they got some like pretty big names in the catfish world, at least as far as like the YouTube space and stuff.
I'm in a suburb right outside of Chicago, northwest of Chicago in McHenry County, Illinois. I grew up and was brought up in pretty much the surrounding area around Chicago and in Chicago for quite some time. South side, I worked for a long time, and Chicago's a big radio city. So, I'm always out and about. I was always really active in my youth. Even, through my working years when I was, just before marriage and after marriage. So radio was always a part of my life. Being in tech side of my business, podcasting came to me early. I still had one of those iPads with the little rotary dial on the front. And I was downloading podcasts to that back then. What's his name from MTV? You'll have to forgive me, but he was like one of the first pioneers in podcasting. And I was like, yeah, Adam Carolla, is that it?
Well, I know Adam Carolla did have a podcast, but there was another guy on MTV that used to host like one of those.
Not Adam Carolla. I know who you're talking about.
The news show, because he was one of the hosts.
Guy with the long kind of warrant type hair. And I got a sister who used to love all them guys, so I know all about that. He still has a podcast. Oh, he's got like a big setup in LA, and he's got a bunch of podcasts under his belt. So he's pretty much built an empire. Yeah. There's a couple of guys that really did it. I'm not in it for that, but I kind of like the idea that I get to go on there and talk like, hey, welcome to the Catfish and Crappie podcast, and act like a fool sometimes. And then, there's this whole serious part of it. I'm more of a cerebral guy than anything, whether it comes to my fishing or my work or life in general. It's just the way I am.
Gotcha. This is a major question. So, I mean, hopefully you answer right. So are you a Bears fan?
No, I don't watch much sports, to be honest.
Killing me, Mark. You're killing me.
I don't know what to tell you. I mean, I watch, it's hard not to watch, the Bears,
oh boy.
Super Bowl Sunday and stuff. Nobody else is doing anything. I mean, I'm grateful because, fall. The lakes are empty. The river's empty. I'm a pretty happy guy come football season. I'm not going to lie about that one bit whatsoever.
I get you. I just throw it out there because I'm a big Bears fan.
I'm not a big baseball fan either. I know I could have used that to talk to Spencer for a while. I know Lyle loves to talk to Spencer about the Cubs versus the Cards and that whole thing. But yeah, I'm to be honest with you, I'm not a huge sports fan. I'll fish all day and night, but that's just pretty much how I am.
Yeah, no, I'll just throw it out there.
That's okay.
What I do notice though, like you were mentioning, like when people get a chance, check out your channel and your podcast and everything. But your channel is kind of cool is that you go live a lot while you're fishing. So the cool thing about it is that it's like we're fishing with you. Most of the time we take our buddies out, we're fishing, we're talking, shit to one another, having a great time, or whatever the case may be. And I feel like when I was just kind of, like I said, I was just watching, I don't know, your most recent episode or whatnot. It's just like I felt like I'm in there, the cockpit with you in the boat. You know what I mean? So was that something that was your intention?
It was. There's a couple of guys out there, like Chunky Cats. He's out there all the time. He's fishing live. DMV Kenny, I like. He's a little bit off the wall. Great guy. Another guy who's got big heart, and he fishes and he works hard. He's trying to make a living off of this stuff. God bless him if he can do it and figure it out. And it's like, well, let's see if I can get this to work. I get StreamYard now. Might as well use it. I'm paying for the full subscription, however much that is a month. If you guys want it, go ahead and look it up. I don't have any affiliate program or anything. And I'm like, oh, we'll give it a shot. And I failed miserably a few times. I really did. Me and James Dockery is a great guy that I talk to quite a bit. He's a gentleman out of Missouri. He works for the Missouri Department of Conservation. He teaches a lot of classes out there. He's like, well, maybe we should go up against each other. I was going to go do some red breast sunfish fishing at one of my hot spots. Oh my God, this spot is crazy. I have big hands and I'll cover my hand up with some of those red breasts I get. Wow. And he's like, well, you know what? Let's go live. I want to go against you. So he goes trout fishing, out of season trout fishing in Missouri. He's on a dock. He catches 25 fish and I can't find a single one. It was a fall day. There's just the bottom dropped out of the barometer and it was horrible. But I got lucky. He smashed a dock roof and that was the sound that lived in infamy, and it saved me the humiliation because I made so many memes and videos out of that clip. It saved my hide. So here's the James Dockery.
Cheers.
So that's how we got into the live stuff. And that 1 versus 1 kind of turned into a thing on my channel. I don't do it as much as I probably should because it's pretty involved setting all that stuff up.
Yeah.
With the pandemic and stuff, our business has taken quite a hit. So I've been trying to concentrate on that. Like right now, I literally have probably half a fall's worth of fishing videos in the can. I haven't edited them yet, but I got the footage. Like today, I noticed yours, Kit, that it was a little cold out there, early spring, I'm guessing, right?
It was like 3 weeks ago, like like maybe second week of May. So not terribly long ago, because now you step outside, it's like 90 degrees.
It is. I know a lot of YouTubers out there. They'll put a lot of footage in the can and then pull it out when they need it. So when I have time to video or to edit the video, I'll start releasing that stuff. But it's like I said, I'm not doing this as a business or any other things than to meet some cool people, kind of stretch my artistic talents, and getting some good fishing spots and some free fishing gear don't hurt either.
Exactly. Right. Yeah, like just meeting people, getting some free stuff here and there. That's all gravy right there.
Hey, if anybody wants to throw me a sponsorship or something, look me up. My address is on my channel about page. So I don't turn down money. I'm a businessman. So
or free stuff. We don't turn down shit. All right.
That's right. Amen. Amen.
Reach out to us on social media.
I had a big following on Twitter for a while. I think I had like 15,000 followers back in the day. And Twitter just went south and I quit doing it. It's fallen off. I think I'm like 2,500 or whatever, and I don't use it much, but I used to get a lot of stuff through then. I was offered one of the big cooler companies offered me one of their pro staffer deals, and I kind of read through it. I'm like, no, I'm going to pass. I'm not paying, $300 for a cooler that I have to promote for you. And that's still at a discount,
Yeah.
I get boxes of like dough bait, stuff like that. And I'll check it, but I'll test it, but you might not like what I have to say. That's my biggest problem, I think.
Hey, you're an honest man. Can't hate that. You know what I mean?
You know what? People trust me for what I say. People come to me when they want to know what to buy. I don't know why they do, but they do. Like, what should I get to fish for crappie? What do I want to get big catfish? They'll come to me. And those are kind of like trick questions. I really pay attention to the nuances of whatever I'm doing. So, a graphite rod's going to feel a heck of a lot better when you're setting hooks or when you're, doing any bumping, which I have yet to do. But, it doesn't matter when you're putting it in a rod holder, and that's kind of the way I go about anything or any recommendations I make. So common sense and, modern day stuff.
Okay. Well, since we're kind of dipping our toes into the fishing thing. So, what's your go-to fish if you had to pick a species to target? I'm guessing it's got to be either catfish.
It's catfish and crappie. I'm a big CPR guy. I'm not one of those CPR guys that just CPR. I'm a very, very pro responsible harvest. I mentioned that Bob Lusk that we talked to. He's a biologist, and he totally confirmed everything I ever thought about. You got to thin the herd a little bit or the herd's going to get stunted, and so on. And it's good to know that people with, some pedigree rather than myself, confirm my thoughts, which is another reason why I like doing this stuff, because I get to talk to people that know more than me.
Yeah.
So yeah, I like to eat fish. Catfish and crappie, they both taste good to me. Stu over at Total Angling Experience kind of gave me a lesson on how to clean catfish. So channel cats have been a lot more tastier since I talked to him a little bit about that. Crappie's always been good. The colder the water, the better they taste. We got a great perch harvest here in the winter, man. I'll go after those yellow perch like crazy right off of downtown Chicago. We'll get on Navy Pier. There's a pro bass fisher angler. I don't know what to say, but her name's Violet Talley. She's a heck of an angler. She's killing it out here. I met her out there. Me and her have been friends. I've met so many people out on that pier. It's great. It's the whole experience. I know I'm rambling on, going like from one spot to another. Maybe it's this rye, so we'll have a little more.
I love it. Keep drinking some more. But no. So you can fish out there at the Navy Pier, like for
I do in the winter.
Okay.
Usually December before it freezes up. Yeah, that's the best time. If I don't have to go into the city, I'm not going. I work from home. If I don't have to leave the house except to fish or get groceries for the wife, I'm not leaving. I'm not a hermit or nothing, but I have no reason to. So
I'll reach out to you because I love my family, my kids. They love the Navy Pier. They love Chicago. I love Chicago. Cool. I mean, like I said, I'm a big Bears fan, but no, it's only about what 5-hour drive for us, Kit, I think. From
something like that, 5,
so
give or take.
Yeah, and if I can catch some perch off the Navy Pier, that'd be pretty badass. So,
it's pretty easy. I can't guarantee that the jumbos will be in, but you'll get perch. The jumbos we're looking at 11 plus, which is pretty big size. I'm usually keeping them if they're 9 or better. I'll even keep a couple 8s if I'm like, let's say 2 shy of my 15 fish limit. I'll keep them. I'll cook them whole, So I have no problem eating fins the whole deal. And man, they taste really good.
There we go. Well, we'll definitely, I'll reach out to you during
let me know. I got a few people coming down. I'm also going up to Genoa, Wisconsin. I think there's a barge up there. I forget the name of it. But we're going up there in October to go fish for some perch, walleye, and whatever else is out there. We're looking forward to that. So, and I'm taking a bunch of other people who are not in perch country. They want to go out and experience it. I'm like, they're just little panfish, but they're ready to go. So come on, let's do it.
Very true. Very true. No, but you're definitely right about the podcast and everything. Cause I think I've learned, Kit, since we started this a little bit over a year or so ago, I mean, I've learned so much in regards to fishing, like just the amount of fishing knowledge from the people. Because like I say, when I say I don't really know that much about fishing, I really don't. I mean, I enjoy it. I know enough to hopefully not hook myself here and there. But you're right though. Just the people we meet and the guests we have. And then just talking to, this guy, whenever I get an opportunity, just kind of learning tidbits and hearing, to me, it's good. It builds my repertoire in a sense.
It's definitely that whole community thing. You learn from one another. Definitely do. Like I had a show, my show on Monday was with my friend Chad Fields. I've dragged baits one time before, and I've caught fish, but I really dive in. I want to know all the nuances and the details and everything. So I'm like, hey Chad, I don't have a guest. You want to come on? He's like, yeah, no problem. Went on there and we talked dragging baits, and I live streamed today. I dragged some baits and I killed it today on the Fox River here. I had a good day. I got a flathead right off the bat, like 20 minutes in. And then after that, I got like 13 channel cats after that, and I'll never turn a channel cat down. So
no, I saw that this morning. I was actually logged in. I was like watching, like, hey, that was a nice flathead that you caught this morning. So
they're
cool.
Bigger. You should, Brandy, you should see the one I lost last week. Oh my God. I got it on video, so it might be a short. Keep an eye out. But that one had me like giddy. I'm smiling now because of the whiskey. I was like that because of the fish.
Yeah. So over in your area, you guys have flathead channels. Do you have blue cats?
No
in your
blue
area?
cats. I have yet to catch a blue cat. I've never caught a blue cat.
Oh wow! Because I was thinking about taking a trip over in Illinois. I'm not sure where exactly. I was talking to one of the YouTubers, Jigging with Jake.
Okay, I know Jake.
Yeah, he's he just started catfishing or kayak fishing for blue cats, and I told him that I need to go over there because I just recently came from catching blue cats on the kayak down there, and man, they got to be my favorite catfish.
Big fish, flathead by far for me. We're not even going to get there because we're gonna not be friends afterwards. I had a kayak for a while until I bought this small boat that I have now. And I'll tell you what, hooking into a big catfish, I mean, I've gotten like some 35, 40 pound flatheads on a Jackson big rig, and that takes you for a ride. That's a good time. I kind of miss it. I miss the versatility or the accessibility is the word I was looking for. That's a good time. But yeah, that's a thrill, man. Hooking in any fish like that. That's on a kayak's awesome.
I think it's my favorite way to catch catfish nowadays because I don't know how big it was, but it's the biggest fish like I ever caught ever, and it was in my kayak.
Next May, what you want to do, and this will be an experience for you. It won't be the biggest catfish you catch, but I guarantee you it'll be pretty close to one of the most exciting. You want to go to Mendota in May and go after the channel cats up there. They are monsters. That place, actually, it's in Lake Cherokee, which is connected to the Mendota. That's such a special place. I got a 16 pounder on a Whisker Seeker ice rod. I beat my PB. I only got a 17 pounder, but I saw a 29 pounder, 26 pounder, 21 pounder come out of there. And it's insane. I saw Denny there in the parking lot. Me and him posed for a picture together. We were talking. That was cool. A lot of guys from the Whisker Seeker cruise come out there from Iowa. So
okay,
that was a good time. We were there for like a whole weekend. So Troy's out there all the time.
How far?
All of May usually. That's how much he likes it.
How far is that from us, Kit?
Looks like that's about.
It's Madison. It's in the middle, smack dab in the middle of Madison, Wisconsin.
So what, 8-10 hours maybe?
I'm only 2 hours from Madison.
Okay.
Oh,
less than 2 hours. So
shoot, we might have to make a thing of that, Kit, because I know
you got to go in May because that's a big lake to find them during the year. They're out there,
really,
but on a kayak it'd be kind of rough. I went out there with Jonathan from Hook Catfishing, and it was brutally cold and brutally windy out there. I forget what month we went in, and there's like 3-foot whitecaps while we were out there.
Wow.
And Jonathan worked his butt off harder than any guide I've ever fished with in my life. And we got on like 3 fish, a 21 pounder, like an 18 and an 11. I know the 21 pounders, right? The other 2 don't quote me on. And he must have pulled anchor like 20 times. I'm not even exaggerating, just to find those fish. He's a hardworking dude too.
Yeah.
When it comes to fishing. So
if we get, I don't know about the kayak then, kid.
Well, go in May, right?
Go in May. Go in May.
We'll do that.
Get in those shallows. You won't be fishing in anything less than 3 feet or anything deeper than 3 feet.
Okay. We'll have to, that'd be kind of cool. You've never been up there, right, Kit? Have you?
No. I've actually talked to Denny about it.
Oh, well, there you go.
Because I kind of, I forgot where it was exactly, but I knew it was up in that area. Yeah. And we were talking about going, and then Denny just got super busy with stuff, and he kind of just stopped doing the social media
because he was there. I saw him there, so maybe he forgot all about you.
Well, we'll have to tease him about that. We'll see if we can get that guy back on. We haven't talked to him in a while, so we'll see how Denny's doing. But it's not a bad idea for next year. We go in May or something, Kit, to do a trip. I mean, I can take the kids up there because they've never been up to Wisconsin, so it'd be kind of cool.
Like I said, right in the middle of Madison. There's all sorts of stuff for everybody to do, man.
Lots to do, and in May, not too hot, not too cold, be perfect.
Exactly, it's perfect. We were out there. It was overcast and in the 70s all the 4 days we were out there. So,
what is because right now we got what mid June or whatnot. How has I guess you can say the bite been for you guys in that area in the Chicago area?
Crazy hot. I haven't been able to get out as much as I'd like to. Here's how I usually go about fishing. I fish like hunters hunt, different seasons. Like as soon as ice is out, I'm looking for ice out crappie. As soon as ice out crappie's done, I'm fishing for channel cats. When channel cats get tired, that's when the flatheads start waking up. I'll go a month without catching a flathead and still chase them because I want to be like one of the first guys on the river to catch one. It's kind of you know how it goes with the locals, right? I did it one year and I think I was hated since then. But anyways.
No, man, you flathead chasers. Yeah, you're a different breed.
Not as much before. I've had really good years. This year has been kind of lacking because of the business and the YouTube stuff. It takes a lot of time, which is fine. I love it just as much. It still keeps me in the fishing sphere, which is great. And then in the fall, we'll switch over to kings. We'll be driving up to like Racine in Milwaukee, chasing kings. And then even in December, I started this new passion for burbot. I really like going after them. That's pretty fun fish to catch. They're easy. It's kind of just like catfishing, but they taste, you guys have had a fillet of fish, right?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, like cod. The McDonald's.
It tastes like cod. Yeah, it tastes like cod, only better. And if you boil it in like a 7-Up or a Sprite, it tastes like. To me, it tastes like crab. People call it poor man's lobster. So
really,
yeah, it's pretty cool stuff. So
no, we don't have burbot.
Yeah,
here.
okay.
It's way north, or I'm fortunate enough to live close enough to the Great Lakes, and they're out there. So
gotcha.
Yeah, wasn't this past winter your first time catching them?
It was. Right? I went out 3 days. The first time I went out, I taped it. Right. It was, I don't know. It was like 12 degrees out. My GoPro held up for that day, and then the other days it was like sub-zero. Man, my GoPro worked for about 10 minutes and it shut off, and I slayed them the next 2 times I was out there. I was getting like 4 and 5 of them each night. So
jeez,
that was good. Yeah, it wasn't too bad. And I'm talking about in like 2 hours. It would take me 2 hours to get up there, fish for 2 hours, and 2 hours home. That's pretty much as much as it took. So
that's pretty badass.
Yeah, they're pretty cool looking fish. I know for a while like people hated them, but they're starting to like gain a following now, aren't they?
I guess they are. I know Luke over at Northwoods Angling, he's been fishing for them for a long time, and Maury over at Fish and More, he's always fishing for them. They're any of the Northwoods guys. That's always been a part of their life. And there's even a big eel pout, because that's another word for burbot is eel pout, they call them. Mm-hmm. And I think is it in Minnesota, where it's like Woodstock, but for eel pouts.
Yeah, the festival, right?
The
eel
festival, yeah, it's pretty crazy. So it's definitely a regional thing, and it was one of them things that I always heard about, and I'm like, I kind of wonder about, what is that all about? And pretty cool stuff. They look like they have like flathead flesh, but thinner. And they're like camouflaged like that too. It's really, really strange. And each one of them's so different. They're cool fish. So
yeah, they do look pretty cool. I think that's one of the fish I want to try to catch.
Nice.
Yeah.
It's not the most sporting one, but it's a good one to go after.
I'm doing Kelowna Classic now, Kit. I'm joining you.
Nice.
So tell me a little bit more about, if you don't mind, or tell our listeners a little bit more about Panfish Nation. I know because we were talking a lot about catfish and everything, but Panfish Nation, what is that all about? The podcast and everything. I mean, what is it all about?
It just was definitely the brainchild of Lyle Stokes. But the whole idea behind it and kind of the theme that we go to is, the show for everybody else. You got your bass guys, you got your crappie guys, catfish guys, salmon guys, trout guys, all of this, and panfish is something that everybody fishes for, and it's got a place in everybody's heart. I mean, even if you need to catch bait, man, you hook into like a 9-inch red ear and on an ultralight line, and it's pulling sideways, and tell me that doesn't bring a smile to your face. Absolutely does.
You're right.
Yeah. So that was kind of the whole idea behind it. It's something that everybody can do. You can walk down to your corner pond or down to a park and catch them. And it's a way to get kids involved. Lyle's, been in the tournament world for a long time, and he's been through all of that, getting everybody to fish competitively. And, if the kids aren't stepping away from their iPads and their computers to do something else, there's going to be no tournaments left to fish. Yeah, so that's where we go from there. I guess he thought I was a good fit for it after I was on Catfish Weekly. So again, I was very grateful for the opportunity. It's opened a lot of doors for me.
That's pretty cool. Panfish that's like the gateway drug for like everybody.
Absolutely. And they don't taste bad either. I mean, technically bass and walleye are panfish if you look them up. So we'll even talk about that. One of our shows, we had a guy on from Missouri. His name's Bob. He started talking about his YouTube channel is Fins and Fines. So he started his YouTube channel doing metal detecting. We ended up talking about metal detecting for half the show. We just, it's whatever's interesting, whatever we get in on, we kind of home, and we always talk about food in both of our shows. So there's always that part of it. So.
All right. I don't know if you've seen any of our episodes, like our older one. All right. You got to do sticky rice and fried fish. All right. I'm going to teach you this right now, Mark.
All right. I can do sticky rice and fried fish all day long, man. I live in a big city, man. You name it, I'll eat it. I come from an Eastern European family, and I've had stuff from like head cheese to blood sausage. Nothing scares me. I love sushi. I'll go mess up a sushi bar. And I'm not talking about the rolls. I'm talking about like fatty tuna, all that good stuff. I'm down for it. I love sticky rice too, by the way.
This is a Southeast Asian thing, and I'm telling you, I keep telling people, because I had some people hit me up before, and they're just like, sticky rice, what's that? And then when I have to explain to them, how to make it and all that stuff, but once you get it, I kid you not, you'll never stop eating it. Ask Kit. Anybody who ever never eaten sticky rice in their whole life, and I introduce them, or if you introduce them to sticky rice, they'll eat it with everything from that point forward. It's like the greatest thing of all time.
I never met anybody that didn't like sticky rice.
It's like pasta. How many people do you know that don't like pasta?
Yeah,
it's the same thing. It's that carb and it's just good. I don't know.
Exactly. Man. And then you combine that with fish, especially like fried fish. I'm telling you, man, you're going to be like, holy cow. You're going to be like, damn, these BFF mofos know what they're talking about when it comes to eating.
Well, maybe you know what to bring out with you when you come out here perch fishing. Maybe we can cook some of them up.
There you go. That's a good call. And then
we can show you how to make sticky rice.
Yes.
Right on. I'll show you where my hotspot is on the pier.
Perfect.
Call it even.
Yes, I love that. We'll do, and then we can even have my wife make some sauce and stuff. Oh my, I'm telling you, you just hey, I got my mouth watering right now, kid.
Man, you're a man of culture, Mark. I respect it.
Thank you. Cheers, guys. Once again, I wouldn't say that far. I'm not cultured. More like hungry. How about that?
I'm not gonna lie. Sometimes I be watching like kids channel. I'd be like, yeah, this food got me hella hungry. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I think that's why a lot of people love like YouTube channels, like those, those or the catch and cooks, because it gets, you're like, damn, it's like that looks hella good,
I've given that a lot of thought too. That whole catch and cook thing. Now let me ask you this, and I want you guys to answer me honestly, okay? Mm-hmm. When you have a good day of fishing and you come home, I know you're married, Randy, right?
Yes.
How about you, Kith? Are you married?
Nope.
Okay, well then forget. This isn't for you. This is for Randy up there.
Right.
When you come home after a good day of fishing and you tell your wife that you either have fish or you caught fish, mm-hmm. Tell me that doesn't ignite some sort of primal provider instinct in your wife, because it absolutely does in mine. You'll notice it next time.
The thing is with her. Okay, so this is the thing with my wife. I mean, we joke around a lot, and because her family, all her brothers and her father, they fish, and they're good. If they listen to this, their head's gonna grow. All right, but no, they're really good at catching fish, and they know their fishing stuff. But when I tell my wife I'm bringing home fish, you're spot on. I don't know what it is. She's like, oh, she goes, she can't wait, because my daughters, they love crispy fish. So then my wife's like, oh yeah, we're gonna have a good, depending on what kind of fish I bring home, what kind of meal, because there's so many different ways. The way we eat and the way we cook the fish, it's not just, fillet it, batter it, and fry it. There's so many different ways we cook it, whether it's soup wise, because we do wraps, we do all kinds of stuff. And that's the thing. And then my wife is like, you're right. She lights up in a sense, but she goes, hey, dumbass, you're cleaning that shit. It's on you. You catch it, you clean it, and then that's the only shitty part. It's like, because I'm
getting pretty good at cleaning them, so I don't mind, but it's definitely an evolutionary trait. You know what I mean?
Yes.
That whole provider thing. So I think that's why catch and cooks do so well. I really do. And who doesn't like food though? But we can get into that. We could go off on a rant with that, and it'll go places that not for this show. So.
But you know what? But no, you're right, because I think a lot of people, everybody has their unique way of cooking, right? And they have their whatever specific ingredients they put in. Like Kid's channel, when you watch some of his catch and cooks, he tells you, he goes, this is not traditional of, how normal this dish, right? But he goes, but this is how I do it. So maybe somebody who could see that, like, oh shoot, or shit, I'd never thought of that. And then you see whatever ingredient he uses, then somebody can learn from that and try that out. So I think in reality, I think it's a learning thing. That's why a lot of people like catch and cook, because at the end of the day, we all have to eat, right? And then when you see somebody cook something that you like, and then they use a different ingredient or a different procedure of how to do it, I think that's what intrigues them.
Fish sauce and shrimp paste.
My latest thing with fried crappie is I bought a couple of jars. I forget what the name of it is, from Momofuku, of this crunchy pepper oil. And I drizzle that on there. Oh, that stuff, it's like a grapeseed oil. It's really kind of funky, crunchy, garlicky. And I'm a heat fanatic. Look at this. I'm at my desk. I got a bottle of some habanero hot sauce that sits here ready for lunch. I'll set that stuff on fire, but that's been my kick lately. I'll drizzle that stuff all over everything, man.
Oh, chili oils are so good. Like you said, they're like crunchy, oily, spicy, garlicky. Oh, so good.
Good stuff. All right, let's get back to fishing. Now we're getting off hand here.
This
is what happens on our show.
Hey, that's part of it. But I love eating. I love fishing and eating. Same thing, you got to catch the fish to eat, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, so what's your favorite fish to eat? Yeah, we won't go too far, so we're still to eat.
Here I was never a big fish eater growing up, other than like fish sticks and all of that stuff. But as I got older, I'm going to piss a lot of people off, but I'll eat everything from like crappie, obviously, to catfish. I've had a little bit of flathead. It's delicious. I've had smallmouth bass sandwiches, and they're on point too. So, and I don't have a opportunity to eat too much fresh saltwater fish, but that's something that I want to try. So my my culinary tastes as far as fish go are pretty limited, unless it's something at a restaurant, and I'm looking to catch the stuff and cook it myself more than anything. But my favorite probably right now is probably crappie. Perch is a close second.
I still till this day I still think crappie is like number one.
I look at it, it's a blank piece of paper. You can paint it however you want, make it taste whatever you like, and you can't really go wrong with that. So
true. But the thing is with crappie, if you freeze it, it still tastes the damn same about 4 months later when you thaw it out, and you know I still think it tastes the same. It still tastes good. Now, white bass or a wiper hybrid bass, no. Once you freeze it, to me, does not taste the same. And then, like Kit was telling me, or what he does is that he bleeds it out.
I think bleed out everything.
Yeah, it changes it. I think that's a game changer. Like I think I'm gonna start doing that from now on. It's like bleeding out, because I tried it. I think my last time I fished, and then I compared the taste of the two.
Yeah. I started doing that after starting salmon fishing. Those old timers taught me how to bleed out a salmon once you catch it, because you want to get rid of all of that blood, whether it's pull the gills off, which is usually how I do it, or cut the tail on a big catfish. It makes a big difference. Also, here's another tip: blood and fish blood and fish fat are water soluble. Mm-hmm. If you give them like a convective bath in, let's say, a non-conductive bowl, like a glass bowl, fill it with cold water, rinse it until the water's clear, and then just drizzle water over it for like 20 minutes, a half hour, it'll make all the difference in the world.
Yeah, that's some sciencey stuff.
I know. We're learning some new stuff.
I like the cerebral part of whether it's podcasting or fishing or whatever. Or drinking whiskey.
A lot of social media I've been seeing a lot lately. So a lot of people are getting hated on, because we see it everywhere. You guys get that a lot in regards to like largemouth bass. I've been seeing a lot of people have been keeping them, and I'm just like, it's whatever, it's within limits or whatever. But have you been seeing any people over there at least getting a little butthurt?
All the time. I got friends that are like diehard bass fishermen, and it's funny, the couple of bass pros I know, they don't care. I'll go to they live on private water, a couple of them, and they beg us to come over there and take them out. They're so overrun.
Really?
So it's basically doesn't have much to do with the fish as it does with the environment you're taking the fish from, to the people who know, and the people who don't know, they just want what they think is best for what they love, and you can't blame them for it. All you can do is try to educate them. So,
that makes sense. Yeah, that's like probably the best response ever. Like you're saying, in regard the location, it depends on the situation. I mean, if the lake is completely filled with 1 or 2 pound largemouth bass, they're going to get stunted, and they're not going to get bigger. So we do need, if you want to catch the bigger largemouth, you're going to have
it's a little more than that. I mean, without getting into like the science of it, basically they're hungry for food, and what they end up doing is eating their own young. And what they do is they're taking a good portion of the gene pool out that has an opportunity to get bigger. So the chance that a 10-pound bass is going to come out of the gene pool are slim to none, when 9 out of 10 of them are being eaten by its own. Keep the little ones, let the bigger ones stay, just like you do with like bull, bluegill, the ones with the big humps. I never take them. I'd rather they stay on the beds and keep my bait spots, filled for the rest of the year. Stuff like that. It's just common sense stuff. But if you don't know where the common sense, or what leads you the right common sense, that's where the problem lies. It's hard to educate people who don't want to listen. All you can do is try.
Yeah, it's like a touchy subject when it comes to telling people what to keep, what not to keep. Oh, man.
Well, to each their own. I mean, my like I said, my family came here from Eastern Europe, and Christmas Eve, in a Polish household, where it's carp, always carp, no meat. It was no red meat, no any kind of meat, nothing that walked on land. It was carp, and the way they cooked it wasn't bad. I mean, you adapt to it. They would cook it what they would call Greek style, and it would be in a tomato sauce with whole bulbs, or not cloves, but whole bulbs of garlic, and cooked for a while. The bones would all dissolve, and I mean, it was just fish. It was survival back then too.
Kid always says, common sense sometimes is not too common. I like that. That was a say. I was like, damn, that was pretty good, man.
It's good. I like that.
Yeah. Very true.
Yeah, you're like, common sense for you, but like some random guy on Facebook Yeah, it might not be so common for him.
I don't know. I mean, that's why sometimes I do unplug from the social media thing. It's just like, God, guys, just sometimes, you know what? I get it, but just get over it. It's like he or she's not doing anything illegal, and you can't put whatever your thoughts or feelings onto them, because as long as they're doing within the limits of.
Fishing used to be my unplugging from social media. I'm old school social media guy. I mean, even before there was social media, I was hanging out in nefarious places online and stuff. And now look at me, I'm live streaming while I'm out there. So, that tells you about how much discipline I have when it comes to that. I need to work on that.
Hey, like for me too, like on my personal Facebook, I unplugged from there for like a month. I've gotten back on, but I'm not back in there like I used to. But since I got my page and stuff, I'm trying to be active on that. I'm trying to post at least every other day, trying to respond and all that stuff too. Because
I kind of made a rule for myself: post pictures and food pictures, and kind of keep personal business off of there. Say happy birthday to everybody that comes up, and like everybody's fish pictures that it deserves to be liked. And those are kind of the rules I've been living by, and it's been kind of helping a lot. So
different world we lived in, gentlemen.
It is, isn't it?
In regards to especially social media, I'm telling you, I'm just like, some people just, I mean, they can't hold their tongue, and then when you should, they have no filter because they're behind a keyboard, and then
they can't hold their tongue when it comes to the good fishing spots either. That's my problem.
that's another subject. But that's why we try to beep it out as much as we can, at least lakes or whatever we're going to. And I know Kit does a really good job. Like, if you know the spot I'm at, you know it. Yeah, I'm not going to tell you, and like, I think we had Spencer on, and when we were talking to him, he goes, you know what? I'm not here to give you a fishing report. So I'm going to show you where I'm fishing. I'm going to show you what I catch, but I'm not here to give you a fishing report.
Yeah, he strictly has a no lake name policy. Like, you do not drop names.
I messaged him once when my channel started getting a little bit of traction, because I'd ask him a few questions prior to that, and he'll always answer questions. It'll probably be what ends up, because I imagine he keeps pretty busy doing so with his popularity. But the one thing I'm like, hey, Spencer, what do I do? All these people are asking me where I fish. I don't want to tell them to buzz off in not so many words. He says, all you tell them is I'll answer anything you want, except for that, and then don't lose sleep over it. And that's kind of stuck with me. So,
and that's why I say you can totally respect that, because it's like, hey man, I'm here for entertainment. I'm here to show you how I fish and what I fish with, but I'm not going to give you a fishing report.
You got to work hard for those spots, whether it's actual work or working hard at lying, cheating, and stealing them. It's hard to come by. You know what I mean?
Agreed.
If somebody trusts you with something, or you trust somebody with a spot, and you come back and they're camped out there every time, it breaks your heart after a while.
There was some hubbub on our local fishing community lately over something like that. Some guy brought one of his friends, like a Facebook friend, and then he comes back a few days later. That friend is with 5 and 6 of his other friends, and oh man, it just blew up on Facebook.
Yeah, it's rough out there. I mean, you want to be nice and friendly to everybody, and you usually can get away with it, and who you can share your spots with. And this kind of brings to memory a story about flathead fishing going back. I have a friend of mine, like just about a lifelong friend. He keeps seeing my pictures, or he was seeing my pictures on social media. He's like, I want to catch one. I go, dude, you don't even fish. He doesn't. He's like, well, I still want to catch one. I says, if you really want to catch one, you'll do what I say. I took him channel catfishing for a year. Every weekend for a year, or twice a month, let's say, for a year. I made him catch little 1 and 2 pound channel cats. Taught him how to tie lines, taught him how to bait hooks, all of that stuff. And after a year, it's not that I thought he earned it. I'm like, all right, he's been through enough hell, and I'm tired of fishing for channel cats. I'm going to take him with me. And that's how that happened. So
he earned his keep.
He pretty much did. I called him my, what's the word I'm looking for? Where you don't get paid. You're my intern, my fishing intern. Oh, he hated that. Oh boy. His wife loved it. He hated it. But the first day I took him out, I put him on a 24 and a 29 pounder. So,
wow.
You know what? But he caught him and he hasn't been back out since.
He's probably, well, I did what I set out to do. And
that's true. That was my goal. I wanted to catch the big flathead, and you got me on it. Done.
Spies in the house of love, I call them, right? You get them out there. There's going to be those visitors.
You ice fish at all, Mark?
Okay. Ryan, his name goes by Send Hooks and Crossing Eyes on Line. He fishes with Jonathan quite a bit here in Illinois. He said it best. He says, I hate ice fishing, but I love fishing, so I ice fish.
Yeah.
And that pretty much sums it up for me, Ryan. So I stole that from him. So I give him credit every time I say that. If I had a snowmobile or a side-by-side, I might not hate it so much, but lugging that 150 pounds worth of gear out, I'm old. I need a shack and a heater and all that good stuff. That adds up after a while.
No.
Oh yeah.
Live scope weighs a lot too, doesn't it, Kit?
Oh, like when I don't even carry it around. I drag my whole sled with me. I leave it in the sled and I drag my sled around.
And he really does that because
I believe it. I don't blame him. I got my Markham here, my LX7 like you had. I got a camera here. I got all of my stuff charged. I got an old school Ion. All that stuff weighs so much after a while. Holy smokes.
No,
it's not like I can't lift it. It's dragging it through 8 inches of snow. That's the hard part.
Yeah.
That's true. That's
moving from hole to hole with all that stuff.
When I'm crappie fishing, I don't have live scope, so I'll drill until my ion battery's dead. I'll drill I do like 30 hole grids, right? I'll do 30 hole grids, go in each hole, find them, try to figure out which way they're moving. Yeah, I need live scope, man, bad. I need it bad. I hate drilling holes.
Well, live scope, how far can you see with live scope, Kit? Like the distance?
I mean, you could see out to 100 feet, but like the resolution out there, you can't really I mean, if it's like big pieces of structure, yeah, you can tell, but like as far as fish is concerned, it could be, it could be bait, it could be, who knows. I mean,
but at least you have a direction to go, though. That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah. But like the main thing I'm looking for when I'm like drilling around is mainly structure, like places where I think fish would be hanging out in. And then I try not to chase fish, but man, it's so hard not to do that with live scope. It's like a double-edged sword.
It's a video game, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's a first world problem for sure.
First world problem. No, it's. I'm hoping this year I got to figure it out because you're right. The gear that I had, especially when I take the kids out, it's just too much. It was like so heavy.
How old are your kids?
I got an 8, a 6, 4, and a 1.5.
8 and 6-year-old, I'm sure you can get them harnesses.
Yeah,
turn it into a game and let them pull your stuff around for you. That's how I was brought up, man.
Mark, I got 2 girls, and I got 4 girls, and then the 2 big girls.
God bless you.
If I'm going to tell them to pull 100-pound sled, they're gonna look like daddy. Hell no. So
okay. My bad. Sorry about that.
But no, it's just one of those things. They love it. It's just like you were saying, it's 100 pounds worth of gear, and if
it adds up,
it's so I'm gonna have to minimize something, the heavier stuff or something.
First ice is my favorite. I'd rather walk out onto 3-4 inches of ice than a foot with 8 inches of snow on it any day of the week.
Oh yeah.
Very true. You don't have to worry about bringing a hub or flip up, and that's where all the weight's at in my opinion. It's that stuff. So nope, I agree, man.
I think my hub, I got an Eskimo, one of them 950 eyes, real nice one. It weighs 48 pounds, and that's without the light in there, without everything else. So
see,
it adds up quick.
Yeah, and then you still got all your rods, and then you got to bring your chair, you got to bring your
heater, propane, food.
Yep.
It adds up. And I'm old, man. I'm getting too old for that. I'm supposed to go ice fishing with Brian Brosdale up north. I'm supposed to hire him. I was talking to him. He was one of the guys we interviewed on Panfish Nation, which was really cool. I'm looking forward to that. But he's telling me we're going to go out in a Suburban with tracks. That's my idea of ice fishing. He says, I got holes in the floor. We'll fish right in that sucker if you want, Mark. I'm like, all right, we got to talk.
That's why we gotta go up more north, like where you can, like you just say, because we had Jay Siemens, and he's just like, yeah, we drive like their trucks and tundras all over.
You had Jay on your show?
Yeah, we had Jay.
Oh, we're gonna have to talk after this. I've been bugging him to come on mine. Maybe you can give me a contact or something.
Yeah, he was awesome. He came up. We didn't even expect anything of it. We just started our shit, and then Jake, here's Superstar Siemens pretty much, and he was like, dude, he was dropping knowledge on us, like, and he's younger. I think he's younger than you, right, Kit? I think he's pretty young. But the thing is with him, as young as he is, he has a wealth of knowledge.
Well, he was a guide for a long time. I know a couple of real young guns like that who do nothing but fish. I mean, they're I'm not going to name any names, but they don't work. They don't have girlfriends. They're sponsored by their parents, and all they do is fish day in and day and night. And when you're at that age, you pick up stuff really quick. You're a little, sprier, unlike me, the old guy of the three here. And you learn that stuff early, and all you do is build on it. So that's where guides are born. That's how they're born. I have a pretty good idea of that's how it happens.
Yeah, no, I agree, because that's why I think a lot of older fishermen or fisherwomen, they tend to not listen to the younger, because it's like, I'm wise, I'm older, but you're right. Like Jay, like he had so much wealth of knowledge of fishing and stuff. And then just anybody that younger, like you just said, they just absorb everything, and then they're fast, man.
Yeah, I have no problem with listening to what the young people have to say about fishing or whatever. I'll definitely listen. And but I expect them to reciprocate, because I've come into a couple of situations where I know they're absolutely wrong, but they don't want to listen to the old guys. So
yeah, they have their moments, but no, it was cool, because he told us, he goes, yeah, we drive on our lake because they're like a couple feet deep and everything. So it was kind of cool, and he was talking to us about that. So we got to go up north. I mean, but actually, I don't know. I think Canada's kind of locked down still right now.
Yeah, Canada's locked down, but we have so many good lakes here in northern Wisconsin and Minnesota and stuff like that. Keep out of the big city like Minneapolis. They got all sorts of problems up there, but there's a ton. There are 10,000 lakes in Minnesota. If you can't find time to go up there and figure something out. And I'm a firm believer in hiring a guide if you're going to go that far and spend that kind of money, because it's so hard to figure out, open water, let alone ice, and let alone a hard water. I would definitely give Brian Browsdale a call. He'll take you out, and I guarantee you he'll put you on some nice, at least panfish and perch for sure, and he'll go after the walleyes too. Nice. I think he's up near the Bemidji area, which is a pretty cool part of Minnesota. Don't quote me on that. So
funny, because we still get Minnesotans coming here every weekend.
What, to Iowa? Yeah. What are they fishing for down there?
Most white bass and white purse. But we
yellow bass.
They come down. But we see no matter what lake in Iowa, if it's a weekend time, you'll see a truck or a car that has a Minnesota
place. And how do you feel about that? Does that bother you?
Okay, so me personally, I try to get out and fish as much as I can. So a lot of people I talk to in the fishing, community, they get a little bit butthurt, which, hey, it's territory, whatever the case may be. To me, I'm just like, you know what? I actually kind of like people coming, because then I want them to see Iowa for what it is. It's amazing, man. Obviously, it's got great fishing, because you got people from land of 10,000 lakes coming here and fishing. So to me, that's cool, because I love Iowa, born and raised here. I lived in California for how many odd years, came back, and just to see it grow and just to see people who want to come here, it's kind of cool to me. But a lot of people would say like, nope, we don't want out of town.
Yeah, the way I look at it, when we get out of towners, wherever it is, or people want to come out here and fish with me or down on lakefront, I just kind of try to treat them how I want to be treated, because I've been treated pretty crappy fishing out of state and stuff, by the locals and that. And you just kind of remind yourself that those people don't, pardon my expression, know their ass from a hole in the ground. Be civil to one another, and as long as they're following the rules, regulations, and paying the license fees, everybody wins, right?
Agreed. And that's the biggest thing. To pay the license, you buy the license, because it helps, especially in Iowa. Like I keep telling you, listeners, please understand, pay the license, because the licensing, it helps pay for the Iowa DNR here. Because Iowa DNR is not based on taxes. All their income or whatever comes from the licensing.
Licenses, Yeah. Same with Illinois, I believe.
I think so.
And let me make another plea to the listeners. All right, I'm not a hunter, but I always buy a hunter license. I know hunters who don't fish but buy fishing license. Help each other out. We're all in it together. We're all pretty much doing the same thing, and that's wanting to enjoy the outdoors. Unless we do it, unless we pay for it, we're not going to be able to. The backpackers who are hiking with their cameras and stuff aren't paying a dime for that for that privilege. Let's do it because and take advantage of it, which means keep that fish once in a while. Don't break any rules or regulations. Pick up your garbage when you go home, and we can all get along.
Couldn't say anything better than that.
I think that's one hell of a way to cap it off right there.
Agreed, man. So, this has been awesome, man. Just having you on, Mark.
Thank you for having me, guys. I really like doing this. I like it when I'm not the one who has to drive the bus. I like being along for the ride. I'm not even kidding you. I get such a kick out of being on these.
Yes.
I like my show and stuff, but there's a lot of responsibility. And this is just pretty much, I'm just going to come here and drink your booze, so to speak. You know what I mean?
I agree. No, because we were on Spencer's podcast on River Certified.
I heard that. That was a good one. I really like Spencer's show too. It's a good one.
Like you just said, we didn't care. We just went there to drink the beer and just talk shit with Spencer.
So let me ask you this before. I know it was a good segue to end, but I'm curious, like what kind of podcast do you guys listen to besides your own?
I'm a huge Joe Rogan fan, number one.
Me too.
I listen to Ben Shapiro.
Okay.
I listen to who else I listen to? Lex Friedman. I'm a big.
That's a good one. I just heard one about the whole Ethereum one I was listening to today.
Yeah,
that was a good one. We'll talk later.
Yeah, I listen to, and so I listen to, like, because I'm into sports cards too.
Mm-hmm.
So I listen to a bunch of guys who do sports cards because I like to hear about the market, where it's going, all that. And then I don't know, man. I love podcasting.
It's good stuff. Do you listen to Meat Eater?
Meat Eater, I think I listened to a bit. I haven't listened to everything yet.
There's a new one out there. Do you remember the YouTube channel? Was it on InFisherman, the show Hook Shots? That Joe Sorelli has that show Hook Shots on there. Well, he works for Meat Eater now, and they got a show that's kind of off the wall, not necessarily fishing, but pretty close to it. It's called Bent, B-E-N-T. Check that one out. I think you might like that.
Okay.
At least from a podcast point of view, it's pretty artistic in how they handle their show. So check that out. Cool. Joe Rogan, of course, a lot of politics. I'm not going to get into that. Some crypto here and there, and not too much comedy anymore.
Yep, I hear you, man. No, I'm luckily, my job allows me to be able to listen to a lot of podcasts daily, so I dive into it pretty much. So, but no, man. Other than that, you guys, everybody who listens to this, better check out Catfish and Crappie. Check him out. Check out Mark's channel and everything. Okay, you got anything else for him, Mark? I mean, we've been talking for about an hour, and it's pretty cool to have him on here and just kind of drop knowledge on us and everything.
So if our listeners want to get a hold of you, how can they do that? What are your outlets?
You can contact me at the Catfish and Crappie webpage on Instagram. You can direct message me there on Facebook. My email is mark@catfishandcrappie.com. You can reach me there through the channel. It's got my contact information on there. You can mail me free stuff through there too. I got a mailing address on there. No, I'm sorry. It sounds like that's an inside joke. Somebody who's going to be listening to this is going to get a kick out of it. I'm not really like that, but anyways, thank you guys for having me. This has been a real blast. I'm really happy that you guys had me on.
No, this was awesome. And if you guys send Mark anything, you better freaking send me and Kit something.
You got it,
you
just bring me some of that sticky rice come December when we go perch fishing, man.
We'll make that happen, Mark.
Right,
so thank you so much, man. Appreciate it, brother.
You got it, man. Thank you again, guys.
All right, thanks, Mark.